2015, Rich Gang was at the peak of success. Rich homie Quan and Young Thug were on top of the rap game with their group Rich Gang, but as fast as Rich Gang came up, it would completely fall. DeQuantes Lamar was born on October 4, 1990 in Atlanta. He said, "Music was just a hobby at first. I never saw myself being on stage and rocking out shows. After I got out of jail, I started to take it more serious. And that's when my dream came true." His breakout hit Type of Way, which would have him buzzing in Atlanta, that would result in him working with Gucci Mane and Young Thug. Young Thug first got his taste of music when he met Gucci. But after Gucci went to jail, Thug had to find another way to make it. Luckily, Thug was introduced to Birdman. After the success of Lil Wayne, Birdman was itching to find another star. He started a group called Rich Gang and was looking for talent to fill the spot. That's when Birdman heard about Young Thug in Atlanta. Once they met, Birdman gifted him with chains and showed him the lifestyle that Young Thug couldn't refuse, in which he ended up being a part of Rich Gang. Now Thug and Quan already had made music together, so Thug introduced Birdman to Quan's music. They would make the song Lifestyle, and Rich Gang was born. After Lifestyle having massive success, Thug and Quan would make a project together called Rich Gang The Tour Part 1. That mixtape would become a classic and Rich Gang would be on top of the world at the time. But eventually, things started crashing down at the end of 2015. Now there is a story that people think what happened and the actual story of why Quan and Thug fell out that you would never see coming. The story people hear is Thug became more of a star than Quan. Thug's verse on Lifestyle became viral with the iconic line that everyone couldn't understand that made him a viral meme, but ultimately helped his career. Thug would also do controversial stuff like wear dresses and call his homies hubby or cute, which now we understand that was a marketing move to keep people talking. Surprisingly, the rap game respected Thug's different style in music and personality, which made him a big part of rap today. As for Rich homie Quan, he was kind of on the back burner that people felt he was just a feature artist for Thug. Even though he had big hits like Type of Way, My Hitta, and Flex, he still wasn't on Thug's level and wasn't as respected as him. People would think jealousy would overtake Quan because he would then focus on making his own music and step back from Rich Gang. He would also have a show calling Thug the F-word, and Thug would respond calling Rich homie Quan a bitch. Music may have been a part of it, but it wasn't really the case. The main reason was street beef.
Biggest bloods in America with me, my nigga. You did. Atlanta, Georgia, nigga. You hear what I'm trying to tell you?
That person in the video is named Donovan Big Nut Thomas. Nut was a blood who linked Birdman to Thug and Rich homie Quan. Now allegedly Thug was signed to Nut at the time, but this is when Birdman wanted Thug, and Thug wanted to sign with Birdman. But Nut didn't really agree with the situation unless the paperwork was right and do fair business. So the easiest way to get out of a deal is if the boss dies. Nut would end up getting killed, and that's why there was speculation that Young Thug and his crew YSL had something to do with it. Quan was really hurt from the situation because Nut was his manager at the time and seemed to be close. When investigators would ask Quan about the situation, he would say he was hurt and feels Thug might have something to do with it. That's when Quan would be labeled as a snitch in the streets, even if Thug had nothing to do with it. So when Nut died, Quan would keep his distance from Thug. Now the streets stopped messing with Quan and started to respect Thug, which made his music pop off even more. Keep in mind, Quan's car would get shot up in 2014, and his dad would also get shot a few months before Nut was killed. He would feel Thug and his crew may have something to do with that as well. This would be the real fallout between the two. Thug would eventually get arrested along with YSL, and now has an ongoing trial pertaining multiple crimes and killings, in which a few of the cases would be about the shooting of Quan's dad and the death of Nut.
Young, you say nothing I say can be used against me?
That's right.
Me and Threat shot up Rich Homie Quan Dad at the barbershop on Bankhead. I don't know what happened with Threat and Rich Homie Quan, but I'm gonna ride with my brother. And they was beefing. And yeah, we pulled up and did that.
Okay.
Rich homie Quan would later go on to say he has no problems with Thug and hopes he will be free, but we're not really sure if what he said was genuine. Unfortunately, we'll never know if Thug and Quan will ever make peace, because on September 5th, 2024, Rich homie Quan would be found dead in his home from an alleged overdose. The music Rich homie Quan made will live on forever. From his songs he made with Thug, and his solo songs, is undoubtedly stamped as classics and made his mark in hip-hop. Rest in peace to Rich homie Quan.